Welcome back to another Bath Carnival tutorial. I'm Hannah and today we're going to be making your Bath Carnival tiger costumes for our Sumatran Tiger block. We'll be getting you all ready for your performance today, so let's get started. First of all, we're going to be making the paws that you'll be wearing on your hands. So these are made out of a little paw at the bottom that you'll get and some toilet rolls on the top that we've made for you. Now these slide onto your hand by you putting your fingers through these holes here, and we're going to attach them at the end. So what we need to do is cover them in our tiger fabric. Now as you can see, different tigers are going to come in different fabrics, but you're all going to be nice tiger colours. So today I'm going to be using my stripy tiger fabric to go with this one here. And how we're going to cover these is we're going to get our PVA glue, and we're going to make sure that we put quite a generous amount onto our toilet rolls. So we're going to really cover them, working all the way down in those little cracks and all the way to the edges like this. And once all of the toilet rolls are covered in PVA, we're going to lay our fabric on the top and make sure that we're tapping down into those corners, and that glue will hold these nice lines like this in between our little fingers of our tiger. Now I've got one here that I've already glued earlier, and you can see this is all stuck on now, and I can see the difference between our tiger's toes. So what we need to do once we've let these all dry is snip all of the extra fabric around the edges away. So we're just neatly going to follow the edge of our toilet rolls there. Sometimes it's helpful if you turn it over so you can see the edge more clearly while you're cutting. So once we've done that as neatly as possible, it will end up a little bit more like this one here. And finally, what we're going to do to make these look like real paws is we're going to get some cotton wool balls like this one and stick them on. This one just needs a little bit of extra sticking. And that's going to make the ends of our tiger toes all nice and fluffy. So what we also need to do now is attach a little bit of elastic onto these, and that's going to stop them from falling off when we put them on top of our hands. So all we need to do is cut a very small piece of elastic because it's nice and stretchy and we want it to be nice and tight so they don't fall off our hands. We might need a parent or a teacher to help with this, but we're going to get them on one side of the toe and just staple them in place, and then also on the inside of the paw pad and staple those in place as well. So someone might need to help you with this part, but that's going to keep our paw on, and we'll end up with something like this that goes with our tiger. Now we're going to move on to the next part of our tiger body, which is the main body. So this is going to sit on top of our heads, and we're going to wear it like this. So it's got a belly on one side and the back of our tiger with its tail on the other. So let's start off with the belly side. So we're going to move to the side that doesn't have a tail on, and that will be the side we're working on first. Now you'll all get some white foam like this, and you can really do a little bit of your own design with this, but what I'm going to do is cut these pieces out so it looks nice and furry like this one, because at the minute it just looks a bit flat. So all we're going to do that is take our scissors and cut little triangles out. Can you see how that makes the edge frilly there? Now my triangles are pointing a little bit up, so it makes the fur look like it's going down, kind of like the edge here. So if you need a guide, you can use the edge of your tiger there. Okay, so I'm going to keep kind of cutting these little triangles like this all the way around to make our edge fluffy. We don't want to go too far into the middle, probably no more than a couple of centimetres, because otherwise we'll lose his belly completely. But I just want him to look nice and furry. So when that's done, we can stick that on with PVA glue as well. And what you might want to do is hold it on with some paper clips just while that's drying, so you can work on the other side of your tiger. Let's move these away. So, moving on to our tail and our back of our tiger. I'll flip this one over so you can see here. So he's got stripes on his back and stripes on his tail, and then a little soft tip on his tail. So just like the paws, for the tip of the tail, we're going to use some cotton wool balls. We're going to need to stick those on both sides of the tip of the tail. But for the stripes, we're going to use black tissue paper. So what I suggest doing is folding that in half, your pieces, so that when you tear it, you get two pieces and it makes it a little bit thicker. But to get these nice stripy textures, tearing it rather than cutting it makes a really good texture. So we're going to tear it in kind of zigzags a little bit so that we get lots of triangles out of our tissue paper. But each one comes in a pair, can you see? Because we folded it in half. So we're going to keep tearing. Now some of them we can pop on just as they are, but some of them we might want to put on both sides, so we can tear them in half and we have matching ones. And what we can do with those is match them on the two sides of our tiger so they start to make a pattern. And we also need to do the same on the tail, so you'll need to cut some smaller ones and tear those off and put those either side of our tail. So can you see here, we've got some coming up the tail, some going in, so we want them on all sides. I might cut another small one out to show you. Let's tear this. So we can have some of the stripes underneath the tail and popping up like this, and some of the stripes might go over the top of the tail and point down like that. And then on the back, we might have some stripes that go either side of the tail like this, and some that come inwards like these ones. So can you see we've got some going out and some coming in. So we're going to stick all of these on until our tiger is nice and stripy, and then the back of our tiger will also be finished. And finally, we're going to move on to the head. So this is the face of our tiger, and this is one that we've already finished off. So what we need to do is attach the eyes to our tiger, the nose to our tiger, and the little whiskery holes for our little whiskers on our muzzle. So to start off with, in your packs, you're going to have lots of bits of shapes to cut out. So can we see where these white ones go? These are going to be our eyes, so we're going to stick those here. But before we pop them on, we'll stick on the sequins that are going to make up the rest of the eye and some of the markings you can see here. So you'll also get some shapes a bit strange, like these ones. And one of them is a bit like a funny S, so it goes down and then up, and one of them is just an archway. We're going to need both of those for one eye. Now we're going to also find a sequin for each eye, a little black sequin, and then also a little white bit that's going to make the shine in our eye. So to put these together, we're going to see they layer up. So we're going to pop the smallest S on first, and that makes the little corner of the eye. And then on top of that, so it overlaps a little bit, goes our gold sequin. So that sits a little bit on top of the black S there. On top of him goes our black pupil of our eye. And then we've got our shine. Now it doesn't matter where you put the shine, but what makes it look really realistic is if the shine is the same on both sides. So we'll try and match those up when we pop them in our tigers. And then just a little bit overlapping our gold sequin goes our top archway, and that's what makes the eye look really realistic when we pop it on. But can you see we're still missing some markings here? So in your packs, you're also going to have some feathers So once our eye's popped on, there's a feather that goes around the corner of the eye, like this. Can you see it here on this one? And then we've also got two feathers. One is a V shape and one is a little tiny piece, and they make the eyebrow of our tiger so that it can have some expressions. So I'm going to pop the V-shaped feather on now, on this one here. So it kind of goes just above the eye, and then a little piece of feather just to go next to it. And that will make my tiger look like it's having some expressions. And I'll pop a little glue on the corner to stick this feather on too. So we're going to repeat this the other way round for the other side. And then our tiger will have some lovely eyes. They're the most important part. But he'd also quite like to smell. So let's work on his nose next. There's going to be two pieces that you need. A black piece, it's a bit like a triangle, and a pink piece that's got two little arms going down. So the black piece goes on first. Can you see it under the pink piece here? Let's pop him on. So he's going to stick on the front, and then we're going to really need to put quite a bit of glue on the sides, and we'll probably need to hold this for a little while until it dries, because it might want to ping off because it's not going onto something flat. And once he's dry, we're going to pop our pink piece over the top and glue that too, and that's going to make our nose. But I'm going to leave you to do that because you're going to have to hold it for a minute and make sure it's nice and stuck down. And finally, we need to make it look like our tiger has whiskers. So instead of sticking on big whiskers, what cats have, if you look at pictures of tigers, is little dots around their muzzle where the whiskers join in. So we're going to make that happen with our tiger by sticking some sequins on. So we're just going to glue these. Now, I like to glue them in 3 lines that kind of all point towards the nose. But that's just how I like to do it. You might like a slightly different pattern, but we just want them on this lower part of the muzzle that's kind of near the nose, because if they go too high up, that won't look so realistic. So I've got my 3 there. I think I might put 3 more underneath, but they're kind of pointing towards the nose, my little rows, and I think that looks quite nice. Some people might just like to put 1 or 2 on. You might not want so many on your tiger, and that's okay. And I might do 2 on the bottom row rather than 3, just so it's a little bit different. There we go. So that's everything. So once both of your eyes are on like this, and your nose is finished with its little pink top, your tiger face will be all finished, and your costume will be ready for you to perform in. So you can see your finished tiger costume. I'm going to invite my friend Jem from Bath Carnival up to show you what it looks like when it's all finished. So as you can see, your beautiful headdresses are going to be nice and big like this. Your lovely belly that you've cut out is going to sit on your tabard, and your paws will be all ready to wear. And then on the back, your tails and your back will be all stripy where you've popped your stripes on. We look forward to seeing you in them.